Hello everyone, it's Uke Review Day. Do not adjust your sets. Yes, welcome back. It's GotAUkulele Review Day. As ever, this is the summary video review to the full written review that you'll find in the link below each review video. That'll take you to the website where you'll find pictures of the uke, scores, measurements, a lot more detail. Some thank yous running across the bottom of the screen there. They're people who donated in the last week to keep this site going, because I don't take money from the brands or the stores. They just be product placement adverts. My eternal thanks to those people. There's links below the video if you'd like to do the same. Much appreciated. You can also help me out by hitting the subscribe button as well. Yesterday topped over 30,000 subscribers, so that was a bit of a milestone. Now onwards to 40,000. Help me out with that. That would be great. Okay, as I said in the introduction, do not adjust your set. And that is because I've never seen anything like this before. A few months ago, a Canadian musician, luthier, instrument maker got in touch with me from Ontario and said, would you like to have a look at one of my instruments? And he sent me a link. And I couldn't believe what I was looking at. His name is Vincent, and I'm just going to stop talking for a moment. You know, like I said, I've never seen anything quite like it. I have never seen anything quite like it. This is a piece of art. This is absolutely staggering to look at. Wow. And I really don't know how to review it, because it's just clearly not built like a regular ukulele. It's just so very different. But it is a musical instrument, and a very, very well made one as I'm looking at the appointments here. Let's get into it. Obviously, based on a shell theme, raised very much into the organic design, and the shell, the Nautilus shell, which is also the golden ratio, the Fibonacci spiral, all to do with harmonics and that kind of stuff, very mathematical. But there's also a shell link on the top as well, because you've got these holes down here reminiscent of the abalone shell pores, but I'll come on to that in a moment. Right, let's have a look at it. All solid curly redwood on the top, with a wonderful stripe in it that he's bookmatched in this severe V. I mean, it really is something else, isn't it? And then up at the top, he's sort of carved it thinner to get down to some of the paler inner wood in this sort of wave. It's absolutely staggering. Dark chocolatey brown, and this sort of, it's organic, that's the word. As I said, abalone power shell type holes here. There are 5 of those. 3 of them are actual sound holes. So this is an acoustic instrument. A lot of people thought this was going to be an electric, although there is a pickup in it. 2 of them are mock holes. Ray said he did experiment with 5 holes, but the sound was too much. And also a hole through here, and that's because on the back you've got the Nautilus shell, and the Nautilus shell doesn't cover the whole real estate at the top, and I don't know how you'd attach the neck if you did. So the neck is actually bolted onto this thin piece up at the top here, and this Nautilus shell look is created by little strips of koa, laminate koa, to bend it like that, that run around in the spiral. It's actually kind of similar to an old boat building technique, very, very light, but very, very strong. And then in the middle, is that the finial, would you call it that, the center of the spiral? That is a slice through a branch of pine, I think, which is, again, really, really organic and natural. I just think that looks absolutely wonderful. Finished in what he calls Osmo oil, which is a furniture oil, so it's not super glossy, but it is, I used the word tactile in reviews before. This is absolutely super tactile. It just feels like a really high quality piece of furniture. It's so well finished. The bridge is a floating bridge style, so that's like a wooden sandwiched thing with a bone saddle set into it, but because it's a floating bridge tied off at a tail pleat, you've got notches in the top of the bone bridge to keep the strings spaced at about 41 mil, and then that tapers down to a canary wood tailpiece down there. So it's all, I think that really suits the look of this. It's basically turning this top into a drum. So very like a jazz box guitar kind of setup, or even a banjo. I think that just really suits the look of it rather than a fixed bridge. I think that's wonderful. Elsewhere on the body, yes, I said there's a pickup. There's a Misi active pickup in there. It's the only active pickup I'd ever recommend, the one that you charge through the jack plug, no batteries. And I think that is the access hatch to get to the wiring if you ever had a problem. The neck, as I say, is interestingly bolted on underneath this canary wood and koa plate. And the neck is made of mahogany. It's really skinny all along its length. Beautiful satin. I'd like to say it's one piece. I think it is one piece all this way. But then up at the top, it's clearly jointed into something else, because whether this is redwood, koa, canary wood, the way that sort of that carving creates this effect is just, oh my word, it's stunning. So it's pretty skinny all the way along its length. Feels like a guitar neck to me. That's really rather nice. And it's got a radius top. The fingerboard is canary wood, 12-inch radius on the top. And for a tenor, 17-inch scale this, rather an unusual 24 frets and 18 to the body. So it feels like you've got loads of neck to play with, but it's still only a tenor because the bridge is quite high up here. It feels like a tenor guitar. It feels like an electric guitar. Those frets are made from Evo Gold, which is a really hard, super shiny material, really high-end material. And I have never seen fret dressing as tidy as I have on this. Have a look at some of the pictures on the website. The frets are incredibly tidy. Position markers. There's so much to get through. The position markers face out at 3, 7 and 12, which I first thought, well, that's a bit odd because I really do tend to rely on 5 and 10 as well. And they are little slices of more pine branches across their middle, which are inlaid in a resin, I think. But no worries about the other position markers because he's inlaid those down the side. Very hard to show you. Very simple in brass. So you've got markers there at 3, 5, 7, 10, 12 and 15. So your normal marker positions. This neck is absolutely gorgeous. The condition of that canary wood is marvellous. Bone nut. And then the headstock, it's not an unusual shaped headstock, quite elongated. I've shown you these bits on the side, which are wonderful. There's a graphite truss rod in there. I think that might be the truss rod cover or possibly some decoration. And then that is a cross-section slice through a pine cone set in resin and put inside the wood. Again, organic. My word, that's just a piece of art in itself. The tuners, GotAU 510 mini gears, really good tuners, and you're looking at those tuner buttons and going, what's going on there? Again, this is just purely for aesthetics. He's carved these out of cocobolo and replaced the tulip-shaped regular buttons because he likes the look of them, and I like the look of them. It gives it a kind of a baroque instrument, like lute type look. He does say that if people want to use peg winders and things like that, or those electric tuners, these aren't going to do you. So inside the case, he gives you the original buttons. If you wanted to swap them back, you just unscrew that and put the original button back on, screw it back on. No problem. I like those. It comes with a set of Worth Brown strings. And there's just more. There's more. This is the case. This is handmade. I think it might be handmade by Ray. It's got this spiral motif on it to match with the look. A handmade wooden case. It's just staggering, absolutely staggering. So I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at his images, and I'm looking at all of the immense amount of detail that's gone into this. And when he was sending it over, he hadn't actually mentioned to me what the price was, and I was trying to guess what the price was. I was wrong. It's £2,000. That's a lot of money. I know that's a lot of money. But I've reviewed instruments more than that, regular instruments. 2,000 quid? I was expecting a serious amount more. The level of craftsmanship, care, and cleverness that's gone into this is simply staggering. Okay, that's all beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is a work of art as much as it's an instrument, and that would be a real crying shame if it didn't play. And I know a lot of people had seen some sneak peek pics I put up on this one. They said, is it hard to hold? No. Okay, it's heavier than some tenors. It's 945 grams, but it doesn't feel heavy. And because that back isn't covering the whole of the real estate at the top, when you actually hold it, It doesn't feel like you're holding a big instrument at all. It's incredibly comfortable. And in fact, whilst the strap button's on it, I can play this standing up with no strap because it's dead easy to hold. Very, very easy to hold. Very nicely balanced. Just tick, tick, tick. What's it going to sound like? This is not conventional. This is not a conventional instrument. So it's not going to sound like a conventional instrument, and it doesn't. It doesn't sound like a regular double bout shaped ukulele. Why would it? But it sounds like its own thing. Low G on there. I'd like a high G myself, but I'm not complaining. Volume. Really good. It doesn't. There's a lot of top there to do this work. It's really punchy. The sustain is good, but what I'm sensing is there's kind of a staccato to it as well, and I think it's because of this kind of drumhead arrangement on the bridge. It kind of sounds like a resonator, but without the metallic twang of a resonator. So like a resonator that's woody, if there is such a thing. But then not really. And this is where I just keep coming back, why it's been hard to review, because I don't know what it sounds like. But it does sound lovely. I love this neck. So you get what I mean? There's kind of like that resonator banjo sound when strummed. But then it completely changes when you play it picked. Really clear and bright up the neck as well. It's really good. The volume's great. I get that looks are going to be divisive to some people. Some people, it's a statement instrument, isn't it? So it gets very, very good score from me on looks because I love it. It gets the top score on fit and finish because this is a piece of craftsman's art. It is absolutely staggeringly good on the fit and finish. It's just lovely. The sound is very good, but it's not a ukulele sound. It's not a resonator sound. It's not a banjo sound. It's a Ray Vincent tenor sound. So it's its own thing, but it's very, very accurate. And of course, with the floating bridge, easy to get that intonation absolutely dialed in. I think it was a little bit off there, but it's travelled halfway around the world to get to me, so it probably needs a bit of setup down here. But I'm not going to be starting to mess with that. So it sounds good. And 2,000 quid, yes, it's a lot of money. It's not an impulse purchase, but I thought it was going to be more. So it does extremely well on the reviews. I have never seen anything quite like this. I didn't need to I just wanted to show it you. I've been putting the sneak peek pictures up on this one much earlier than I normally do, and more of them this week, because I couldn't help myself, because it's just absolutely stunning. The Ray Vincent tenor ukulele. This, thank you very much for loaning me this one, Ray. This is now getting shipped on to Matt Warnes at World of Ukes, who I think is also going to do a feature on it, and possibly an interview with Ray, so keep an eye on that. It's all systems go for Ray at the moment. I am so glad he got in touch. This is, I could just do this for the next 20 minutes, couldn't I? Just showing you little details in it and little things that you find. It's just, Be sad to see this one go. I really am rambling now. I'm just going to show you that again for the last time. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I better just wrap this up, hadn't I? Right, okay. That's been wonderful. I don't think I'm going to top that for just sort of beauty in this year. How can I? Who's going to make something like that? That is out of this world. I am back next week. I think we're back into the realms of the common or garden, kitchen sink kind of stuff. Regular ukulele, very little decoration. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your ongoing support. Beautiful day out there. I'm going to go and get some sunshine now. And I hope you look after yourselves and each other in the week ahead. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.